All right, I want to go ahead and do some VOD review right quick of the stuff that happened while we were up at Mistake on the Lake 3. First things first, obviously, the stuff that I'm going back over is the VOD that was up on Agekin's channel. If you're not already following Agekin on Twitch, it's a really good idea. Some other dance game content, primarily Dance Rush content, and very entertaining, very much worth it. He's a really nice guy. Definitely hit that follow. I am gonna comment back over some of the stuff that happened on the stream, but that's the only place to find the VOD. Uh, these guys are not active, so do not worry too much about that one. But it's there sometimes. There's some events. First match out the beginning was actually Dave, and what with one thing or another, we ended up. We're the two guys that wanted the 18s, right? He's not really active right now, but he's still very good at 18s back when he was active, and of course I'm super well known for them. So these are both scores that we had from years and years ago from the 7th KAC. So this is actually my best 18, my favorite 18. So I picked it up off his card, and he did the same thing. He looked at my card and was just like, things I don't know or an 18. All right, let's go. So that turned us into us just starting with the most ridiculous nonsense. You can see my score there is a 9980. That's about 54 perfects and a miss from the 7th KSC, and he has 42 PFC from the same event. So both of these scores are like 3 years old at this point. I really appreciate that the mic is directly under my feet, so it sounds really neat. So the thing I really needed to avoid against Dave was getting stuck into a timing battle, which unfortunately, like, this song isn't really a timing battle, but there are parts of it that are pretty simplistic. And as Jamario's put in there, like, being up 3 points on a song that has 600 arrows doesn't really matter. You can't take that as gospel yet. I did get to the point where I got up to about here, and I felt really, really good, and I said, everything's going okay. I'm very good at this song. I feel like I was warmed up, and right about there, all of a sudden, I just, like, forgot how to play. I feel so upset about this part. I think his was just, like, not being warmed up, so, like, he doesn't have a great run on that section either. But then I have just that part where I completely forget how to play in the possession part. That's not anything physical, that's just me. I literally forgot how dance games work. And that unfortunately just happens to me sometimes, and I'm really upset that happens during tournaments. Also, I really appreciate that everybody over here just kind of went, we're playing. Oh, these guys are playing 18s, let's go. There's a spot near the end in the jumps where I saw him look over. Like, he looked over out of the corner of his eye in the jumps, and I think he was looking for a reason to quit. I think he was, like, thinking we were gonna quit, right? He was just gonna be like, look, if I'm behind, I don't feel like finishing the song. And he was ahead by, like, 30x. So that's, we get to here, and this is clearly not, he's got a PFC on this. This is clearly not what he was looking for. This is clearly not what I'm looking for. I have 2 greats or just a miss on this, and it's just... that's tournaments. But I am a little, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in this just because I did have an opportunity. I did sort of engineer things so that we were going to be on a little bit short warm-up, and I made him play this song before the other song because this is harder to do with low warm-up. So I think I sort of engineered some of the intangibles to try and make it possible for him to mess up, and then I messed up really just as bad. Can we also discuss, I know this is not a thing, but can we also discuss, I win most of these songs on money score. I know that's not a thing, but, like, man, all of the number of times that I end up winning on money score in this set, not in this set, in the events that I did in this tournament, is, like, notable. And now this is the one that's just gonna make everybody cry. If you look at his score here, he's got like 7 perfect or 7 greats PFC. Here he's got like 7 greats. I have about 5 greats PFC. I actually got this the other day, so I actually feel really good about that one. I'm actually beating Magden's score. Okay, I'm beating his area score, but you know what I mean. I'm beating his, his what's saved on the machine, and I feel really good about that. And then just completely fail to time it. I put so much work into Valkyrie Dimension. There was a possibility of me playing 3 different versions of Valkyrie Dimension, and I had actually, like, practiced the 4th. I'd practiced basic. I practiced every version of this chart, and that actually kind of comes up in just a minute. That actually comes up in a minute, but I have some confusion just over having to, juggle them all. That's interesting. I felt like I hit the... Uh-oh. So, I definitely did want to, obviously I have some questions about this down arrow right now, but, in the old days there were a lot of tournaments where the rule was that it was your fault if you walked off, basically. So you needed to, you needed to keep playing as much as possible, and then they would deal with it later. But by the time I had, like, that was 30, I already had at least, like, 15 misses on this arrow. And we were already pressed for time. We already knew that this was bad, right? But there was only so much you could do. Yeah. Only so much you could do when you're pressed for time, but, that one was so bad. It's worth mentioning that I was down like 20 EX coming out of the slow part. And yeah, there's 3 misses that don't count, but I was also behind on timing as well. I did a pretty bad job in the opening the first time. If you're really watching me select my mods there, I actually had some things where I was putting on Sudden Plus. And the Sudden Plus is actually a defense against screen readers. I didn't know what speed he was going to put it on, so the Sudden Plus was actually a defense against somebody taking the song and just playing it at like 3x or 3.25x, and then just using my screen to read the ending. I actually have the ending memorized. So yeah, I'm not going to get perfects, but I'm also going to full combo it. So I actually have the only way I would ever use Sudden Plus. I have it set to cover up the entire screen. It's just a full block out. It scrolls all the way up to the top here. And if you put your screen so fast that you can't read it, I was going to block out my entire screen and just say, okay, you did this to yourself, and just take the hit on my score and absolutely crush somebody else's score. I think it says something about just how good Dave does at the beginning of this, because I actually have like 3 greats at this point, and I'm still down. And every time he's not actively actively getting greats, he's pulling away. He's just such a good timing player. It's very stressful in tournaments just knowing that like everything that isn't way too hard to full combo, you will lose on timing. It's so stressful. Right here, I forget which arrow is the stop. It's worth mentioning, I get 3 greats and a miss right there. Like, right as the stop, I miss the next arrow and I get 3 greats while I'm trying to remember how to continue playing the game. I think he just gets tired or isn't warmed up or something, because he was ahead until very recently here, and then it all just kind of falls apart in the end. Yeah, having seen him actually start the song on 175, I actually didn't put Sudden Plus back on for the second time. I don't need it for the song, I never use it. Alright, I want to make a point here too. I don't use it. Like, the only reason I was going to have it was for, screen reading, like anti-screen reading tech. So it was pretty entertaining to see that he was actually going to put it on a proper speed and not try to, like, combo read off of both screens. So then I didn't need to use it, right? I could just play for a score properly. I want to just take a second to say that I played an 18 that is not a simple 18 in a tournament, got a 993, and I'm so annoyed that I just let him mash it off the screen in annoyance. I'm so irritated that I'm just like, get that off my face. Oh, baby. It is such a... Oh! Okay, so you guys don't get to see this. We're having this discussion over here. What they're going to do for the random is they're going to give us 3 songs in the 15 to 18 folders, and he gets rid of 1 and I get rid of 1. So we look over, and he... before I even see it, he looks at the charts, and it is Egoism 440 Expert 18, Pluto the First Expert 17, Paranoia Survivor Expert 15. He looks at it and very quickly says, no egoism. And I feel good about myself that I took a very strong 18 player. And yeah, he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to warm up on it. But I took a very strong 18 player and got him to ban an 18 against me. He immediately just goes, yeah, no egoism. And you can see when I go over there, I kind of have this, like, well shit.
As we go to the card draw, folks.
you can see what I said when I looked at it. And I very quickly go, my options are play Pluto the First or play Paranoia Survivor 15. And that means we're playing Pluto the First in a tournament. Because I sure don't want to play timing against Dave on an extreme song. Like, that's not going to go well. Here we go. Let me find a little bit here. Once again, the mods turn into a little bit more of an interesting thing, and nobody in the chat and nobody on commentary really thought it was super interesting. I read this on right, and he reads this on normal. He plays it on normal. He also plays it on 1.5, which seems really fast to me, but obviously he can read it. It does work for him, so cool. Like 660 sounds like such a huge speed to me that I would never intentionally choose that. I am sad about this one though. I've put a lot of work into this one and I just never get a hold of the ending. The ending makes no sense to me and I'm gonna have to fix it. It's by far my worst 17, but I actually kind of enjoy it now. I've kind of just gotten so used to it that I don't hate it the way that everybody does at this point. Can we also talk about seeing a plus 20 in a tournament is pretty nice for me because I don't have that many things that I can improve by 20 EX and feel, that that's a possible thing. Man, yeah, I gotta fix that. That section right there with the jumps just isn't good for me. So the reason for right is actually that kind of stuff right there. You end up with a bunch of like vertical jumps and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's much easier for me to do the horizontal jumps, but if I mess up and miss them all, then it doesn't help me anyway. Trying to watch both screens at once makes it actually pretty hard to see, like... They don't even look like the same chart since we're playing such different things. Maybe it is speed. He looks like he's having a little bit of trouble with the speed. Yeah, that drill at the end. Even just looking at it again makes me sad. I didn't remember that I was plus 30 EX on my actual best here, because I just get so many perfects at the end on my actual good run. Once again, I'm winning on money score because that's just the way that I play. I'm so much more likely to do well on money score and just not worry about perfects, and that ends up crushing me again. Unfortunate. Certainly, definitely great job to EvilDave. He's trying to come out of not playing a whole lot and only working on like Step Maniacs and IGG setups, and trying to come back to playing at in a tournament environment. Definitely did a great job. I don't know. I feel really sad about how this went. I feel like I put a lot of prep into this. Had an opportunity to win actually all three of these songs. It was very possible for me to put all three of these away, and I just didn't do it. This one at least is timing, right? I know what this one was. I didn't time the ending. He did time the ending. He beats me. Valkyrie, I think I actually got a good score on. I was just annoyed at the time. I wasn't happy with the 120 perfects, but it wasn't, it wasn't super embarrassing. It just wasn't what I was looking for. P-Rev is... I forgot how to play the game. That's the one that's really upsetting me. I want to come back and look at the other two, but this is the most impressive set just physically, because we did this on one song warm-up. The two of us got up, chose violence, both declared, I want to play the 18 that the other person mentioned, random to 17, and then just said, we're going in. And I love that stuff. I love it. I'm going to come back and do the other two matches later. I just really wanted to try and get some of these VOD reviews up before I forget what was going on at the time. So we'll come back and do more of it soon. I definitely appreciate all the folks that showed up in the chat, showed out, and supported, and especially Goddish, but several other people as well. But he was by far the most vocal. I really appreciate it. Yeah, looking to do better the next time I go to an event. Bye for now.